Ho, ho, ho! Merry Christmas, Jade. Have you been a good girl this year?
Yes.
No, because you picked the Vikings to win, and so you get coal. Grossi Posse Packer Nation. Welcome to an episode of Packcast, the podcast where you're not a Packers fan, but it sure does help. I'm your host, Tom Grossi.
I'm Jade Grossi.
And Jade is repping the green and gold today after our little wager because the Vikings decided to go ahead and get their ass kicked. And now Kirk Cousins, here's a fun fact of the day, is 0-9 in Monday Night Football. That's the worst in NFL history. So, cheers to you, Vikings, and $84 million down the drain. So, yep, Jade has had a fashion upgrade for this episode, 100%. Now, Jade had another great week last week in predictions, going at 10-6, 151, 88-1 on the year, while I just beat her by one. Oh, and what was that last game? I beat you. Oh, it was the Packers and Vikings game because you decided to go with the purple incarnations of Satan, and I went with all that is good in this world. And so I went 11-5 last week, 156, 83-1 on the year.
I'll be picking the Packers this week.
Oh, that's so nice. That's great. I look forward to you wearing green and gold again next week.
But I'm picking them this week.
That's great. You
so
can
it's
continue
not a
to
punishment.
Neither is this. This is an enhancement. Okay, so this is the end. This is our last regular season prediction of 2019. After this, holding in that yawn. Just, wow. Yep, that's how our viewers are watching this as well. Just holding back them yawns. This is the last 16 games of the regular season, and then we just got 8, 10, 11 games left in the entirety of the year, Jade.
8, 10, or 11?
No, 11. I was counting in my head out loud. Yes, 11. 11 games, so... Let's get down to business.
Let's get down to business.
To defeat my hun. Starting off, oh, look at this, Jade.
Packers. I'm going to pick the Packers.
The Green Bay Packers rolling in the Jeep. In the deep, dark abyss that is Minneapolis, they went into that stadium and that defense smacked him on the ass and said, hey, good game. And Zimmer refused to look Matt LaFleur in the eyes when he shook his hands because he's a little baby. He's a little baby. Little baby boy. And so the Green Bay Packers, if they win against the Detroit Lions this week, that means that they are guaranteed. They are guaranteed at least the number 2 seed, securing a first-round bye. Now, if they win this week and the Seattle Seahawks beat the 49ers, then the Green Bay Packers are your number 1 seed in the NFC. And that is just delightful. And so, the Lions, obviously very injured this year. Matt Stafford's not going to be there. They haven't had a running back in God knows how long. So, yeah, I'm going to go with the Packers here. They're playing for something. The North is not enough. The world is not enough. And so because of that, I am going with my Green Bay Packers.
Yeah, I'm going for the same reasons.
Okay. Then you have a battle of the AFC East teams in which one is not going anywhere except their couches in January, and the Bills who snuck into the playoffs. The Jets and the Bills. Oh, man. Yeah. Being played at Buffalo. Buffalo's going to want to send their crowd home happy, and so I'm going to pick the Bills here because the Jets are just a hot, steaming pile of garbage. Reports coming out that Adam Gase, responding to criticisms from fans, said, I don't care, I'm rich as F.
Oh.
So that's the kind of person you want coaching your team.
Very much, huh?
Nope.
Well, I'm also going to go with the Bills.
Alrighty. I like how much you're pronunciating into the microphone today. Then we have the Miami Dolphins taking on the New England Patriots. The Patriots don't have the luxury of resting their starters this week because they still got to play for that first round bye. While they can't get the first seed because that belongs to the Baltimore Ravens, the Patriots can lock up the number 2 with a win over the Dolphins, which is pretty much
what's going to happen.
That's what's going to happen pretty much. Now, if they wind up losing, then maybe the Chiefs can sneak on in there with a win. But I'm gonna go with the Patriots here. I don't think the Dolphins are going to be able to pull it off.
I'm going to go with the Patriots, too.
And the tank continues. Then you have the Chicago Bears taking on the Minnesota Vikings. The Bears, oof.
I think the Vikings are going to come away with the win on this one.
Oof. Does a bear shit in the woods?
Just a week too late.
I don't know, but they did on Sunday night all over Soldier Field. That's where they pooped. All over that field. Just all over. Their offense, their defense, just everywhere. And I had to stream that game. So the Vikings, they actually have nothing to play for here because they are locked in at the number 6 seed with either a win, holding back that yawn again. All right, this is going real well. They are locked in at the number 6 seed with a win or a loss. So I think they're going to rest some of their starters here. Now it's just a matter of they're going to be playing during the wild card round. Do they rest their starters or do they continue?
Well, even if they rested their starters, are their B team just as strong to be able to still beat the Bears?
That's a complicated question. I mean, since it's in Minneapolis and they do so well there, this is tough. I don't know. Do they rest Kirk Cousins? I don't know. Because, I mean, they won't play Cook. I doubt they'll play Madison. Do they play Thielen and Diggs?
I'm going with the Vikings.
Yeah, I guess I'll go.
No, you should go with the Bears. Switch it up.
No, I'm going to go Vikings. Then you have the Chargers versus the Chiefs. The Chiefs have something to play for. The Chargers can't find any electricity anywhere, including their home stadium, even though they're not playing at home. But they won't even be able to tell the difference considering the amount of Raiders fans that descended on their field last week. Yeah, the Chargers are just nothing, and the Chiefs are actually pretty damn good. They are surging. Get it? It's a Charger reference again. I'm going to go with the Chiefs here.
Chiefs.
Alrighty then. Then you got a battle of the bees. The Browns versus the Bengals. The Bengals still have only won one game this year. One game. And the Browns, I feel like they've only won one game this year. Yeah, both these teams are pretty much terrible. Now, the Bengals have already locked in that number 1 spot, so I think it would be glorious if they just came out guns a-blazing and just killed it this week against the Browns. The Browns, yeah, they're just so terrible. But I'm going to go with the Browns anyway because I think they have more talent than the Bengals currently have on the field. You going with the Kitty Cats?
I might go with the Bengals just because they're home field advantage, maybe.
5 people will show up. Then you have the Saints versus the Panthers. The Saints vying for that number 2 seed against the Panthers. The Panthers, they interviewed Mike McCarthy, Packers' old head coach. Yeah, that's something.
I know who that is.
Yep. They're not going to win, though.
Who interviewed him?
The Panthers, because they fired their head coach. So,
wait, is Mike McCarthy not coaching anyone right now?
No.
Oh.
Because the Packers fired him last year.
He's like a free agent?
Yes. Oh. So, yeah, I'm going to go with the Saints here because they have a bunch to play for here and then could potentially get into, maybe the number 2 seed.
I hope
not,
the Saints, too.
Oh, damn. All right, then you got the Falcons versus the Buccaneers. The Buccaneers putting up a good fight against the Houston Texans last week. And the Falcons, it depends on which Falcons team shows up. Who knows? Devontae Freeman could have a good game. Matt Ryan could have a good game. They could fall flat on their face like they have the majority of the season. I think this should be a shootout of a game. You know what? I'm going against my gut here. No, I'm not. I'm going with the Falcons.
I'm going with the Buccaneers.
I was going to go with the Bucs. We'll see what happens. Then you got the Indianapolis Colts taking on the Jacksonville Jaguars, the ones who can take down a Cayman, but they've taken down their own season. And so, yeah, both these teams obviously not making the playoffs. A little bit disappointing for both of them. Both teams haven't really showed up as of late, but I'll go with the Colts.
I was going to go with the Colts.
There you go. Then you got the Eagles versus the Giants. If the Eagles win, somehow, some way, they are going to the playoffs, because they will win the NFC East. If they lose and the Cowboys win, the Cowboys will go into the playoffs. Neither of these teams deserve to go to the playoffs. But that being said, Saquon Barkley decided to pull his head out of his keister. I know he's been injured, but other than that, they haven't utilized him a whole lot. But just roll with the joke. Pulled his head out of his own keister and finally decided to be like, hey, fantasy people who drafted me. You're probably all eliminated now, but look, I did something. And then you have the Eagles, who they beat the Cowboys pretty good. That was solid. But they got some injuries right now that they're dealing with. I'm going to say the Eagles get it done, and they punch their ticket because they got a whole lot to play for.
So if you're saying that the Eagles nor the Cowboys deserve it,
yeah.
What are the other two teams in the division?
The Giants and Redskins. They deserve to just be set on fire.
So you're saying nobody.
The whole NFC East is just poop that has been lit on fire, picked at by some animals, and they're like, you know what? I'm a scavenger, and even I won't eat that. And then lit on fire again. And that's the NFC East.
Okay. I guess I'll go with the Eagles.
Alrighty. Then you got the Cardinals versus the Rams. The Cardinals pulling the upset and beating the Seattle Seahawks, led by Brett Huntley. Yeah, that gum-chewing son of a gun led him to a victory. And the Rams, well, they're out of the playoffs. So are the Cardinals. Which one will win? Who cares? I'll give it to the Rams. This is a total shot in the dark. They lost against the 49ers. Put up a good fight, though.
I'll go with the Cardinals.
There you go. Then you got the Steelers and the Ravens. Now, this is interesting when it comes down to actually predicting it. The Ravens are the number 1 seed in the AFC. They are resting their starters. So you have RG3, who will be starting. Ingram won't play because he's injured. And then the Steelers, they are still vying for a playoff spot. So they're going to be playing very, very hard. So now the question becomes, are the Ravens' backups better than the Steelers' team? Yes.
I'll pick the Steelers. Why not?
Alrighty. Then you got the Titans versus the Texans. The Texans obviously sweeping up the AFC South, and we're like, okay, thank you very much. I'll head to the playoffs now and probably won't do anything with this opportunity. And the Titans are another team that's still vying for the playoffs. And so because of that, I'm actually going to pick the Titans here after they lost a heartbreaker to New Orleans, and they lost 2 weeks ago to this exact same team, the Texans. But I'm going to say the Titans are going to take it this time.
So the Texans are going to be resting their starters too. Probably.
I don't know if they can move up or down. I think they're stuck at number 3, if I'm not mistaken. They're number 3 or number 4. Yep, I wrote tit.
I'll go with the Titans.
Alrighty. 2 titties. Then you have the Raiders versus the Broncos. The Raiders, their last game known as the Oakland Raiders before they moved to Vegas. Their new stadium is like, oh wow, that's a third yawn. And I love how your lip just like trembled. I'm
trying not to do it on camera.
Yeah, it's not working because I'm calling it out.
Wait, so it's called the Vegas Raiders now?
I mean, I guess, yeah.
Why?
Because they moved to Las Vegas. Taking on the Denver Broncos at Mile High Stadium. Will the Raiders be able to close this chapter on their storied franchise, or will the Broncos and Drew Lock just slap them in their face? I mean, both these teams aren't great. Technically, the Raiders actually can still make the playoffs, though. They still could do it. So I don't want to. Oh, this is painful. I'll go with the Broncos.
He was in agony there. Did anyone see his face? That was tough.
I was like pushing one out.
I'm going to go with the Broncos as well.
All right. Then you got the Redskins and the Cowboys. I'm actually going to have the Cowboys win this, and then the Eagles are going to win, so they're still not going to make the playoffs, because you don't deserve to. We're at this point where Jason Garrett has clippity-clapped all himself out of a job, all right? So he can go crying all the way home, and he'll be fired on Monday. If he makes it that long. Cowboys.
Can you tell me a little bit about the Redskins?
Well, their stadium's a mess. No one shows up to their games. Dwayne Haskins is, a rookie, so he's been struggling. Everyone else is injured. Their defense is nothing to speak of. We only beat them by 5 points, but that's okay because we beat the Vikings. But yeah, no, they're bad. They're bad.
All right, Cowboys.
Okay, and then finally the game that was supposed to be at 1 o'clock and then 4 o'clock, and then got flexed to the Sunday night game, the 49ers and the Seahawks. The winner of this will win the division. The Seahawks, they banged up. They banged up real good. The 49ers, they're also a bit banged up as well. But 49ers have been rocking a bit, except when they lost to the Falcons and almost lost to the Rams last week. All right, maybe they're not really rocking, that would be the good word. And the Seahawks are struggling too. So while I would love the Seahawks to win, and it is in Seattle, I am going to go with the 49ers. And here's why. Because if the 49ers lose, I'm still happy. But if they win, I win in predictions, so.
But I'm going with the 49ers.
Perfect. Then I guess no harm, no foul. But these are our wonderful predictions that you see on the screen right in front of you. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. What are your predictions for this week? And make sure to comment on how great Jade looks. Oh, and by the way, Jade, what sweatshirt are you wearing underneath that? Oh, Jade, is that an exclusive Packcast hoodie that you can purchase at bonfire.com/Packcast?
I don't know. I got it off your dresser.
Well, if it's my sweatshirt, I believe that you can purchase that off of bonfire.com/Packcast today. They say to continue to smile as long as possible to sell a product.
I don't think that's true. That's not true.
That's what I learned in business school.
You didn't go to business school.
Nope. You can always find me at TomGrossiComedy.com or at TomGrossiComedy on all social media. See down below. Check out Packcast on SoundCloud, iTunes, Google Play Music, Spotify, and of course, YouTube. And a big shout out and thank you to all the Patreons over at patreon.com/TomGrossiComedy. From the Grossi household, we want to wish you a very Merry Christmas and a happy
holidays if you're not just celebrating Christmas.
What do you think I was about to say, Jade?
Well, I wanted
to say 2019. We all inclusive up here in the Grossi Posse. What do you think? I'm just coming up here and saying, just only.
It sounded like you were going for Happy New Year.
I'm literally going to be talking to them again tomorrow. And this weekend.
Okay.
Don't worry. You're going to see a whole lot more of Grossi in 2020 and in 2019.
Happy Festivus! If you don't celebrate anything.
For the rest of us?
Yeah.
Thank you so much for watching. I'm Tom Grossi.
I'm Jade Grossi.
And as always...
You did it, not me.
It was a fake yawn.
Because you were boring yourself.
Go back, go.